Welcome. This is Map Marketing and I am your host, Rachel Klaver. I love helping small business owners become more confident and more capable with their marketing. So this podcast is all here to help you do just that. It's me and the help of some great guests helping you learn new skills, new strategies and ideas. Let's jump in and get started. Hello and welcome to episode 46 of Map It Marketing. I'm your host, Rachel Klaver, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 14 steps to help you become more confident using TikTok for your business. Now, before we jump in and before you go, oh my gosh, I don't know if I want to listen to this because I'm still struggling to get to terms with everything else. Why are you adding in TikTok? I'm going to explain strategically why I am using TikTok. Now, for a start, I actually love using TikTok. I feel like it's a little bit like the Twitter of old, where I can use it a little bit spontaneously. It suits my diverse brain that likes to have different types of stimulation in it. So I personally really relate to the way that TikTok's set up. I love the way that the algorithm works, all those different things. But the main reason that I want to teach you today about TikTok is that last year I made a decision that this is the year of YouTube for me. I need to become better at being able to create video and edit video and have it on YouTube. YouTube long-term has huge benefits in terms of SEO for businesses. It helps with organic marketing. It creates great content that builds trust. And so to do that, I also knew I needed to create short-term video. So TikTok stepped in because TikTok is the king, queen, president, ruler of the universe, unicorn of all things short video. And that is one of the reasons that I have grasped TikTok and fallen in love with it. I'm going to be talking mainly about how to use it as a service provider, but it equally works as a product-based business. So please just also listen along for that. And I'm going to talk to you about some of the things I've learned, as well as how to optimize your profile. So jump in, enjoy the ride with me, and we're going to go through the 14 steps to help you become more confident using TikTok for your business. All right, let's get started with this. The first thing, number one, we want to make sure that when we're setting things up that you've got a really great bio. Now, there are some things you need to do before this, but we're going to do this bit first because this is the bit people really care about in terms of creating an account. So when you create an account in TikTok, you do need to make sure you have a converting bio. We've talked about this in the Map It Marketing Facebook group, which you're very welcome to come and be part of. You know, I really love that you listen to this podcast. If it's the first time you listen to it, I do welcome you. Yes, I know, I probably should have said that earlier. I do welcome you, and I hope that you join us for other ones. But if you've been here before, you know that there is always that Facebook group, the Map It Marketing Facebook group, where you can ask questions in there. And one of the things that people often want to know is how to make their profiles work really well. And we've done work in that group around Instagram profiles and how to optimize that. I do work around LinkedIn and how to make your profile really well. And it's just the same as with TikTok. Optimization of your profile is really important. So the first thing is you need to have a really clear color profile picture. And often it's a good idea to try and cut out your image and put a nice strong color image in behind to really make it pop, because people see your image every time you comment on something. They can see it quite small often. So it needs to be really clear. And I use the same one that I use for my Instagram. So it's got a nice relationship with that, because I think that's really important. So you start with a clear profile picture. You put your name, and I believe that even as a brand, unless you're a really big brand, it's really important to have at least your first name on there, because TikTok is actually still all about working with people. Even if you have a brand account, you don't always have to do that, but you do have to understand that people will want to know the person behind the brand. That's really key. So put your name. Then put some keywords that explain what you do. So that can be kind of in your bio space. So, mine has got around personal brands, because that's the thing I focus on with our clients around marketing strategies. So I'm focusing on that on TikTok. But I could also just put marketing strategist and check the words. Do a bit of a search in the search bar for the keywords that you're looking at, and go and have a look and see if the keywords you're planning to use are ones that other clients or other accounts have used, that have kind of aligned with what you're doing too, to make sure you're using the right terminology. So do that. make sure you've got a call to action, like follow me for more tips, or follow me to share this journey, or follow me if you like singing songs on the internet or whatever it is. So call to action, and then you can have a link in bio, but only once you've hit 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 follows. So don't worry about that too much. That's the same on both the personal and the business. It used to just be that if you had a business, you could have it straight out, but they've changed that. So don't worry about that. Then I want you to connect up your Instagram page and your YouTube page, because one of the things that's really beneficial is that the more you grow on TikTok, the more that you get to actually have people following you on those other two places, because they want to get to know you, find out more about you, and you can refer to content as well that people are going to go and watch and have a look too. So even though you don't have a clickable link necessarily, you do have your YouTube channel and you do have your Instagram when you start. All right, so you're going to be starting at plain zero when you start, and it is really important to make sure that we set ourselves up for success. Anytime we start something, it's hard, but I do believe that TikTok is one of those places that if you put a bit of time and effort into it, you see fast growth, faster than any other platform around. I'm seeing much faster and more rapid growth with my core audience on TikTok than I am anywhere else. So I really recommend using it if you can. So number two, so we've got that profile set up. The second thing we want to do is we do want to start with the right mindset. This is about building a community. I have been delighted in understanding this, that the engagement levels of talking and building relationship are like it was in the early days of Instagram. I have that on Instagram too. I'm very lucky. I have quite a small following, but I'm very lucky in that I do have quite an engaged audience on there, and I find it delightful. But you can really build this really strong with a mindset. So, often one of the big things around this is it is the conversations you're doing. It starts off with being people who are very top of the funnel, people who have never seen you before, never known who you are. And so you need to think about it as talking to a stranger who doesn't really know you very well. For most of your content, that's what you need to be doing. You don't have to introduce yourself every time. You can. There are creators that do that, and people on the account who always say, hi, my name is whatever their name is. You can do that, but it is extra seconds. You have to make sure that, people are going to watch past that. But it's really important to think every time you create stuff that you're creating from a blank slate, and you don't have the advantage necessarily of an audience that already knows you. So do take time to think about what your content's going to be and how it's going to fit, so that people would understand your brand. Just jumping in with something is going to always be a bit tricky. So that would be number two. The next one is that you really do need to think about creating a mix of content types. So even though it is all video, we want to use short-term video, a bit of long-term, some trends, some trending music, a whole range of different things, longer pieces, and putting them all together as that different content type. But it's also content topics. I have found that showing my personality, sharing my story, sharing a bit of stuff that's kind of going in with me individually has really helped me build a strong relationship with my audience. And so what I would normally say is that I would encourage you to use a mix of different types of content. Generally, the way I would say that about 30% of your content would be trends. So using trending audios and things like that. They're short, they're sharp, they're really good to push out your content to a new audience. Around 20 to 30% is around building your own personal brand, so people can build a personal relationship with you. And then the rest of it can be how-tos, behind the scenes, product info, all those different things can be part of that as well. So that's a really important part of that, and that's really key. The third part that I would say would be really key as well is if you've got a locally based business, please make sure that you refer to where you are in the content on the comments. So put it in your blog, put it in the comments, put it in the hashtags, put it in the video, because then the algorithm will only show it to people in that specific area, or tend to only show it to people in that area. So that really helps people find you right. If you're trying to build a more global business, obviously you don't have to do this as much. TikTok will look at where your phone is, and so are more likely to share your content to the geographical area that you are as well, unless it starts to catch the audience. And a good example of that is there's a woman, Jazz Thornton. She's amazing. She's a really amazing creator on TikTok. She was in New Zealand. She moved to America and gained all these American fans because her phone location had changed. And so this just shows you that power of how it can really be impacted. So that would be a really key thing to do to make sure that you're focusing on that. I mentioned before that number 3, the bio does kick in at 1,000 followers. So don't freak out about that. What I would recommend is just focusing on creating great content and letting people follow you. I have bought products from people on TikTok who do not have a link, and some of them don't even have gone over 1,000 followers and still haven't bothered to do the link. Their content of their products is so beautiful that I have hunted them down. So just don't freak out about that. If you're engaging and you're building stuff, it's really important. But once you do reach the 1,000 threshold, apps like Milkshake and Stan help you create a bio link that includes multiple call to actions, which is really key because it's a great way to promote your business all in one place. And by using keywords in your videos and titles and descriptions, you can make sure that your content is seen by people who are really interested in what to have to offer. I think that if you're a product-based business, sure, you can do about buying things. But if you're a service-based business, most of the things that you should be doing call to actions for are for free content or free add value. That is, it kind of taking them from that very top of the funnel to the next stage, because that's really key. When we're creating our contents, this is number 4. I think I've lost track now. I'm terrible with numbers, so if I lose track, just trust me, there's 14. Number 4, when you're videoing and creating your content, I do recommend if having a play with starting in the app first to create your content. For a start, the filters just naturally make you look good. I forget what I actually look like, and I seem to start to think that I actually look like I look like in the TikTok videos. It just looks better. But it is actually quite a good way to start, and it's a good way to kind of learn how things work. I'm currently using an app called CapCut, which is a free app. Now, I've talked in the past in podcasts about the apps I use. I've talked about InShot. I think I may have even talked about Vita, which was a little one that I was doing for a while. CapCut is my current favorite, and it's actually owned or linked to TikTok. So everything, you can bring in sounds and things like that from TikTok and import them in and create your content with it. So I'm loving that. But I do think it's good to start with the TikTok app first and just get practice at it. I spent probably the first 8 months of creating content, just creating it in the TikTok app. And it just made it very easy. But when you're doing it, my recommendation to record is that you record it in segments. So like I would go, here's 14 things that you want to know about TikTok if you're just starting out, end of it. Number 1, and I would just go through and do all of those bits and pieces, and then I would go through and remove all the breathing and any words I didn't need, because pauses are great. Lots of breathing, lots of sound can be a turn off, and if you're editing your video within the app, doing it in the short clips will make that possible. If you're editing it outside the app, be really ruthless at cutting away anything that doesn't matter. Often I will just record a whole bunch of stuff. Even if I've scripted it, I'll often cut out key phrases or other bits to make the message sharper. People have a very short attention span on TikTok, so keep your videos concise and to the point. They recently have allowed us to do up to 10-minute videos, but don't even attempt that if you're not getting great views and saves and shares from your content that is shorter. So that's number 4. Number 5, it is key to have the hook, the key content, the call to action, and just repeat that over and over again. So when you're creating that content for TikTok, when you're putting it in, make sure you're adding a hook at the beginning of your videos. We talked about hooks a few episodes back, so go and have a listen to that. Focus on the key content in the middle, and you can use some of the framework. I did a podcast last year, and I'll put a note of it into the show notes of how to create great captions. Those captions are great video scripts as well, so you can use those exactly the same way, and there's ones for services, products, and for I think boring businesses or something like that in that podcast. So use that framework, include a call to action at the end, and don't forget to make sure you have fun. If you're not enjoying yourself, your owners won't, your viewers won't either, and they're definitely going to feel like, oh, why would I watch this? So I'm going to give you a really simple framework. Here's one. So hook, do you want to start promoting your business on TikTok? Or you could say, here's something that you need to do if you're planning to promote your business on TikTok, or planning to promote your business on TikTok. Here's something that you can do to start. So that hook, 3 seconds to pull them in and make them ready. Content, you're in luck. I'm here to give you some tips. And then you'd add the tips. And then call to action, keep reading for my top tips on content creation for TikTok, or find the link in the bio for my free downloadable, or it could be keep watching for my free top tips, or here's another video that I've done on this, or whatever the thing is. You can create a call to action, and that call to action can be in the video. It can be in text in the screen, although sometimes TikTok doesn't like that very much if it's a call to action on the screen, or it can be in your caption, which they don't tend to penalize. Right, so that's number 5 in terms of everything that you're doing. The next thing that I want to talk to you in terms of number 6 is I want you to think about using hashtags. So when you're doing your hashtags, you do research first. They're different to what you use on Instagram. We really only want to be seeing 2, 3, maybe 4 hashtags. And they're a great way to get people to see your content who aren't following you yet. I often use hashtags around particular groups of people. So I'm 50, so I do ones around Generation X, sometimes in Generation X business owners. I also do ones around ADHD and creative endeavors and other bits and pieces that are echoes or parts of my life that I put through. And it's important to use them wisely, because too many hashtags can be off-putting and also confuse the message to TikTok. And the hashtags do need to relate to the content you've got in your content, because TikTok can see that content, or the robot can hear and pick it out, and it meshes with the things that are on the screen and your captions, and the caption or the writing that you've put on the bottom of your screen of describing or call to action, and your hashtags. It puts it all together and works out who's going to see your stuff. And so it needs to all tie together. You can't just put something in that doesn't relate to you at all. So the best way to find relevant hashtags is to look at what other people in your industry are doing, hit the search button, have a look, and make sure that you use a variety of different hashtags to reach a variety of different audiences over a period of time. When it comes to hashtags, as I said, less is more. Choose a few that are relevant to your industry and audience, and then also mix them up so you're reaching different people every time. I normally say for small accounts, anything over the 1 to 2 million view mark is too big, and try to avoid hashtags that are less than 200,000 views, because they're just not getting enough viewership. So, sometimes you get lucky, but I often quite like having ones that are sort of in the sort of 500,000 up, and I'm now going up to about 3 or 4 million. That's kind of where I'm sitting at, and I find those size hashtags go really well. If you choose a really big hashtag, when we talked to Matthew from Hashtag Slayer in terms of Instagram hashtags, one of the things that we learned from that was that if you use a really popular hashtag, they're being used so fast that the content just goes fast through. And so if you're not someone who is known for that content or big enough, you just don't get picked up in that stream. So we want to make sure that the hashtags aren't too big so we don't lose it. While we're here, we don't want to use hashtags like FYP, which is for you page, any of those. They are not worth doing for you. They don't work. And so just don't use them. They're not worth doing. Some posts don't need hashtags because TikTok's algorithm is so good. Some posts don't need hashtags. And so sometimes it's just fun to create really punchy directed content and see where TikTok takes it. And that's been really effective. You could try that once a week and just not have hashtags and just let TikTok take it where it needs to go. So it's number 6. All right, number 7, it is up to 10 minutes. I think I mentioned that before. If you are a business that is doing value add and creation and you're really tight on what you do, I would highly recommend that you would focus on doing up to 10 minutes. They are up to 10 minutes though. So like 3.5 minutes can be up to 10 minutes. So it is a good time to do it. But remember, the key is to keep people watching. So if you can't hold their attention for shorter videos, make sure you go for longer ones. I personally find a 45-second rant is an ample length, but I do also find that TikTok is currently pushing out some of my longer content, 2 to 3 minutes worth, quite well, and I get quite a lot of saves with that content. So I am creating more of that as well. But I have a script. It would be something like this. I would turn it into a 10-minute thing and then create that, and that would be an effective thing to do. So that would be important. Now, when you started doing some creation, you started giving it a go. Some of the things you need to think about is using trending audio. I think we're up to number 8. So I do use trending audio when I can. I use trending sounds in terms of short little funny sounds that people make for very short videos. Lip syncing. Look, I know that I probably have said in the past that I don't like that, but it definitely works and it's quite fun, and I'm enjoying it because of the creative side, and it helps me whip out and just get a few bits and pieces done. It's not necessary, but it is something that I'm personally enjoying, and it definitely does increase my reach. The other thing that really increases my reach is, and also you can use trending audio just behind the sounds too. So if you, it's good to have music behind your spoken thing sometimes, but turn it right down, and you can even turn it to 0 and it still counts. So you can use little trending audios behind your content to push your content out as long as it relates to your niche. And sometimes a lot of those are used by younger viewers. So they're not going to be suitable for me. So I'm quite careful about making sure what I use and what I don't use. But I do like having a bit of music behind my videos sometimes as well. In terms of this, number 9, what I have been doing also to increase my reach is using what's called stitches and duets. The way that stitches and duets work is that someone may create some content and you go, I want to respond to this. So you can do what's called a stitch, and you can cut part of their content and they play and then you respond to it. Some people will do things like, say things like, what's one piece of clothing that you just can't live without? I'll go first. And then they'll go, and so you can stitch that and answer it. They've also answered it and other people can answer it. And if they like it, they'll share or they comment, and then that helps push it through the algorithm. I've done this recently. There's a really amazing New Zealand creator called Live with ADHD, I think she is. And she was talking about overload in terms of tasks. I told her my little hack, which is to take your clothes to the laundromat for $25 a week. They'll wash, dry, fold them, and it saves you hours every week. That's a little hack for you too, by the way. She loved it. She created a video of herself doing that, and it went off and added me in it because I'd suggested it. She didn't realize it was me. We've been talking and she didn't realize. So I did a duet with her where I played it and it's on one screen and then the other is me reacting to it. So the sound is off, I'm just looking, and I put a caption on it. And that did very well. A few weeks later, she did another one about with ADHD, about using like a little cycle thing from Kmart. And I went and got one. So my listen or my react was me unpacking the box while she's talking, and I've got mine, I'm sharing that. And again, it went really well. So having duets and stitches can build community. It pulls in that combined power of both of you working together in terms of like that conversation. Other people watch and interact. Different people often watch and interact, and it gives you an opportunity to broaden your audience. So that's a duet, but stitches, and so stitches are finishing off or talking. Duets, you can also do audio. I love singing. I actually just bought a new microphone. I'm just getting an adapter, and then I'm planning to do some TikToks of me doing some singing to some people. They do accompaniments. I'm going to do that. Like, I know it's not going to get me any clients, but it's going to bring me joy. And sometimes life is about doing joyful things too, right? So I'm going to be doing that. I might do some parody songs because then it fits in, but it's good. So if you're wanting to reach a wider audience, that's a really good way of doing that. Number 10, I'm pretty sure I've got the numbers right. I should have numbered them on my page. Number 10, reply to comments. Always reply to comments, and when possible, comment via video. If they've done a really good post, I did one recently about how I do not like the word boss babe. And so I talked about that. And someone said, they didn't mind, and this is why they didn't mind. And so asked me why I had a problem with it. And so I used her comment, and you can reply to it as a video. You can do this on Instagram too, but most people don't do it. Apply to the video. And then it was a great way to connect with my viewers, show off more of my personality, show more of my thoughts. And then people responded to that one as well. It still gets pushed out as new content. So it's a great way to encourage people to interact with you. It's more in keeping with the platform than just doing a comment. Often the comments, if there's lots of backs and forwards, it's quite hard to see the threads, but if there's a video, TikTok will prioritize that in the feed, so you can click through and read it and watch the kind of the thread of the conversation. And so it's a really good way to really build that. I've also used them when people have said, hey, you explained this, but can you explain it more in detail? I can go into more detail for that person. I'm feeding and helping them, but I'm also helping everyone else that watches that video. So replying to comments with video is really effective, but even if you don't want to do that, replying to video comments full stop is super important. And also go and comment on other people's posts as well. I think that's also super important. I think one of the things that I've seen has really made an impact is you can have 2 streams on your TikTok feed. I'm gonna make this number 11. Hopefully I'm not going to end up with 15. Number 11. And so you can go, if you go to the following stream, the people that you're following there, and if you interact with them, it makes it easier. I wish Instagram did that, to be honest. It'd be much easier to have like, these are the people I follow. And so I can just comment on theirs. I've got to go and hunt them out often. But you can do that on TikTok quite easily. It has a following page and you can go through and comment on theirs. And the more you do that, the more they come back to yours. And then it creates this lovely dynamic community, which is one of my favorite parts about TikTok. All right, number 12. I definitely have. Here we go. Try different forms of video types. So TikTok offers you a lot of different content types to try. You can do voiceovers. I love those because you can just record some footage. I recorded some footage the other day of just a beautiful, moody beach feel, and I've got my face in the corner. I'm going to do a voiceover for that one with like conversation with some nice moody music. You can do it with you just twerking or packing a box and doing a voiceover, and it's great. Vlogs, rants, so you can do like just basically like, hey, this is an opinion I've got and I need to put it off my chest. A vlog is more like a day in the life idea, so that's quite a fun thing to do as well. I've done a few of those. Value bombs, where you go, here's some value for you. You can make a difference in your business right today, or here's something you really need to know about this product or how to use it. Text over video, so you can do like a little bit of a video and then do like quite a lot of text over the top. These should only be 3 to 5 seconds, 7 seconds maybe, so people have to watch them enough to read it. A how-to video, interviews, you can do little interviews, skits, slices of life, just showing them a little part of your day or things like that. And all of these help you show off your personality and find what feels most natural for you on camera. If you're feeling stuck or you're not sure what types of videos to make, start with trends, because it's an easy way to get started and see what performs well. And then you can start experimenting into other content types. And I guess the key here is remembering, and I've said this already, have fun. The best thing about TikTok, it's a platform where people are looking to be entertained. And the key is to catch and keep their interest. And people will watch others who are open and enjoying themselves. So I've said it before, but you really do need to make sure that you're having a lot of fun as well. Another thing that you need to just be thinking around in terms of that is making sure that you do so this is number, I think, 13. Rachel Klaver has forgotten the order. Someone's going to tell me that I missed one out. I know. I'm listening to you guys, all you frustrated people at me right now. So number 13. In terms of this as well, I said before that TikTok is very much the top of the funnel. It isn't just that, but I want you to have most of your content focused on people who don't know you yet. As you start to build a community, it can drop down more. People are really engaged and interested to see what we do. So really though, hardly any of it should be promotional. If it's all promotional, it's not worth watching. This is the biggest mistake I think often that e-commerce businesses do, is they jump into promotional. It's better to have things that are fun and whimsical and delightful and a bit odd than to have promotional. People, it's enough. Like I literally bought a dress the other day from TikTok because someone was doing something completely different. I said, I love your dress. Where'd you get it? Told me where the dress was. I went and got it. Now, you think that from a retail point of view, you don't have, if you are the retailer and you're wearing the dresses you've got, that is often enough. You could do a styling video, but that's not time for people to buy it. People will just be like, where'd you get that? You could be doing a cooking demonstration, or you could be showing how something works. You could be talking something over about parenting where you do a puzzle and that you sell. Like, there's so many ways that you can do this, but you don't want to be thinking about sell all the time. Packing orders is good. All those sort of things are fun, but really it's about the process of what you do. People want to know the business process, the understanding and working it through. And I think that's really important. Right. My last one, number 14. Boy, do I hope I got to number 14. You'll let me know. Number 14, repurposing is life. And this goes right back to the whole reason why I'm doing TikTok this year. I want to grow my YouTube audience. To do that, I'm using shorts, which are short, under a minute long videos, to help grow my watch time and increase subscribers. And it's working really well. I don't have time to create really great TikTok, YouTube videos every day. I would love to be in a position when I can, and maybe one day I will. But at the moment, that's not an option. I can do 1 to 2 a week. So I'm using YouTube shorts to grow that watch time. And I'm also using short videos across lots of other places. So always get yourself a YouTube account, repurpose them as a short. You may need to change the titles to something that's SEO friendly, although I'm starting to now go, actually I'm going to go and find the SEO title and make that my TikTok, which makes it much easier. Upload them onto Pinterest. You can use them on Pinterest and you can have it linking back to your TikTok or your Instagram or to your website. Use them on Instagram and Facebook. And I've been using them on LinkedIn and they've been working really, really well. Now, I do recommend you actually amend the caption, so the stuff that's written about it, so people can see that part. Make sure you remove the watermark to make sure the content fits the platform as well. So some of those platforms will penalize you if you have the TikTok watermark on it. So by creating stuff in CapCut, I remove that problem because I've created it in CapCut and then I can just shoot it across. But before that, I was using a free tool called Snaptik to remove the watermark, and I'll put it into the notes. And I now use CapCut and a tool called Repurpose.io, which I'll also put in the show notes, which helps me to repurpose and post across a wide range of platforms. So basically what it does is when I have something in TikTok, it pulls it from TikTok and then it makes it ready to go into a Google Drive account folder, go into YouTube, Pinterest, everywhere, pretty much everywhere. And it pulls the watermark out at the same time. And I can schedule and post directly from Repurpose.io. So it's really helped me post a wide range of different platforms via my desktops. It's great. Now with Instagram, it doesn't turn it into a reel. It just posts it directly to my feed, but that's actually a great use of video as well. So I'm quite happy about that. So yeah, look, to be honest, that for those 14 tips, I will tell you, TikTok is now one of my favorite platforms. I feel very at home there. I struggle with finding my place a bit on some other platforms. I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a comfortable place for me. Instagram, I really desperately want to love. And I just have this beautiful love-hate relationship with it where I really adore the people that are on it. But I find the whole people telling you you've got to be an hour on there, and all, I find that stuff really frustrating. I'm enjoying the flexibility of TikTok. I love batching my content and planning ahead. I have a content planner that I use that I share as part of our coaching program, the Content Master Web, which I'll also put a link in the show notes. So do that. I love the way that it works because I can do planning ahead and spontaneous, which really suits me. If I want to do more than one post a day, it really suits me because I like having a lot of content. I'm starting to build friendships and connections with people. And so it's made it one of my happy places of the internet. The algorithm is so good that you find content that you'll easily respond to. Sometimes it's a bit shady. It's gone through a phase of wanting to show me pimple popping, which is really not something I'm into, and I'm not too sure why it thinks I want it. But you can press any video and just press it, and it'll come up, and you can say not interested. And so I've done that a couple of times, and it seems to have stopped. Also has some other odd ideas about me, which I'm trying to manage to solve that problem as well. But most of it, the algorithm is so good that you'll find content that you'll easily respond to. And don't freak out about your age or who you are and stuff like that. The algorithm is so good that it pushes your content to the right people most of the time. And if it's wrong like that, people will say, I'm not interested. So you're also likely to find your peer group. Most of the people I hang out with on the internet, on TikTok, are over 40. A lot of them have ADHD. Quite a lot of them love content and things like that as well as me. So I'm going to make my peers around the world as well as local businesses, which is great. And it's great. However, I do understand that video is still overwhelming for a lot of you. And I guess I just want to remind you, video is not going away. And at some point, we're just going to have to try and start. And I know that that's hard. For those of you that are becoming more confident with video, TikTok is a great place to start and cut your teeth and try things. And I do feel that if video is going to be a key part of your strategy, take a look, take baby steps, and make it part of your weekly marketing. Now, I've really enjoyed sharing this information with you today about TikTok, and hopefully I got to all 14. I counted 14. I don't know if I missed one. However, if you'd like to talk about this ideas and information further, please do come along to our Facebook group, Map It Marketing. The link will be in the show notes. And if you've enjoyed this and found that it was useful, I would love it if you gave me a review to say that you enjoyed it so other people trust the podcast. You just need to go to your podcast platform and pop it in there. Apple and Spotify, there's a few other places. And if you would like, if you like this information, please hit subscribe. I love the fact that, we're growing a little audience that come and listen every week. And I'm very thankful for the 250 to 300 people every week that listen to this podcast, and it's growing, and I'm very thankful for you. So have a great week. next week, I've got an exciting podcast for you. Cannot remember right now who it is because that is my life right now. But stay tuned. It'll be a surprise for both of us. If you love what you heard today, be sure to hit subscribe. And if you loved this episode in particular, I'd love it if you shared it on social media. Remember to tag me in so I can say thank you. Have a great week, and we'll talk soon.